Hey everybody, I'm going to be making a video here today that is going to be going over an exchange that I had with a few professors at the university that I will be transferring to. And so I wanted to start with the first person that I got in contact with. She's very nice. She was able to, she sent me a little blurb of a panel that was talking about abiogenesis in November, and she included on the panel, or on the what she sent me, is a list of a few professors. And so the what it says is, I'll read here what she sent me. She says, "Back to the beginning, investigating the origin of life. The origin of life, or abiogenesis, is a profound and challenging problem for scientists, in part because we only have evidence of it ever happening once in the known universe. Understanding abiogenesis is key to understanding not only how life arose on Earth, but also why we so far seem alone in our expansive universe. But how do you study the means by which life may or may not have started? Join us for a conversation about what we know and what it means for our expanding our understanding of this elusive topic. Panelists include," and then it goes on to list them. And so if you click on each one of these of the names, you'll go to their page and you'll see what they are experts in. And so we have an associate professor, director of HST program, ecology, evolution, and behavior for one. And then we have an associate professor, plant and microbial biology, um, with expertise in geomicrobiology, ecology, redox gradients, and extremophiles. And then we have the last is the associate professor of biochemistry, molecular biology, and biophysics, expertise in biocatalysis, directed evolution, protein engineering, artificial enzymes, protease, origin of life, genetic code evolution. So I emailed, and I'll read their emails in that order because I did reach out to all of them. And so the first person who I reached out to, I will read what I said here. I said, "Mark, I was shown the snippet of a talk you gave back in November. The claim here is that we have evidence for abiogenesis happening once. What is this evidence that we have? I've been looking for evidence for abiogenesis for my dissertation as I need the start of evolution for the start of my paper. I'm a student also, not spam or anything. Could you please elaborate on the evidence?" I found out that my email looks a little bit like a spam account. I think, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but anyway, um, so he got back to me and he said, "Dear Nathan, sorry for the delayed response. We were on break last week and I was only in a sporadic email contact. It's not clear to me that exactly what you're looking for. It sounds from your email that you're looking for a singular event that happened approximately 3.5 billion years ago, which we do not have. I think the other two panel members may be more helpful in answering your question. All the best." And I did respond to him, and maybe, yeah, okay. So I said, "Thank you for getting back to me, Mark. No worries at all. I am looking for this event that happened long ago. Yes, if it can. Shouldn't we artificially be able to recreate something that happened naturally? If we are taught that life ultimately arose from non-life naturally, doesn't this need to be shown and proven and verified that it actually can? In my paper, I will write about the nutrition of life from the beginning, but if I have no validation and verification that life can actually even arise from non-life, which our attempts to recreate abiogenesis always show non-life remains non-life, then I can't write a paper on a belief that is how it happened." Uh, I said, "It's unfortunate to hear you," because I just sent him this email actually today. I said, "It's unfortunate to hear you say, asking the other members who I spoke. I was told by one professor that she was not an expert and to ask elsewhere, and the other professor said that we have never observed this event. It's observation part of the science. Isn't observation part of the scientific method? How can we extrapolate data without observation?" So that was kind of a spoiler there, because yeah, basically, and I'll go through this kind of quick, and then I'll go back through it. Then I sent this message to the next professor, and her response is, "Hi Nathan, this is not my expertise, and thus I am not the best to assist. I would suggest starting with literature searches through Google Scholar. All the best." So she said that she is not an expert, straight up. And then I spoke to the last professor here. I told him that I said, "Hello there, Burkhardt. My name is Nathan. I am a student at Normandale, and I will be transferring to the U for nutritional cardiology once this time. I will be writing my dissertation on our optimal design fuel source, and I'm going to track our evolution history from the beginning to now, showing how plant foods are our proper primary fuel source, as this prevents and reverses the leading causes of mortality in our population. If we go back to the first universal common ancestor linking all life, we understand it needs to arise from chemistry. At some point, the abiogenesis event of chemistry becoming biology is needed to happen. This is life crossing the starting line to get into the diversity race. I have been looking for actual observation of the phenomena of abiogenesis event being naturally observed or recreated in a laboratory. Chemicals unguided becoming a life form. I have found zero data on this matter. I went to my dean of STEM at Normandale, and he provided me with the Urey Miller experiment, which is simply chemistry, chemicals reacting to become other arrangements of chemicals. He quickly stopped providing resources for this event, and I had to go to other institutions like the National Association of Biology Teachers, National Science Foundation, etc. The NSF sent me a paper that stated that abiogenesis never actually has even been observed. This is concise as I think I can get it while retaining key points. I'd be happy to delineate more or polish any loose explanations up. I'd like to ask if you could guide me to the empirical observation of abiogenesis event in totality, start to finish, unguided natural processes, chemistry to life. I'd like my paper to be scientific, not based on any one person's belief on origin, as evolution is taught in science. Fact backed, not belief navigated. Best regards. So he got back to me, and what he said is, "Hello, Nathan. The details of the process of the emergence of life from abiotic chemistry to biology in its entirety still have to be demonstrated." So that is a big one. Really, that's not to be demonstrated. And I think this guy has probably, out of all of their what they claim their expertise are, and I think you can learn on your own, but they're like accredited expertise or whatever. I believe this professor is the most has the according to people who weigh heavily on someone's backing in their education, and are you educated in a school versus self-taught or this or that. There are people like Dave even who in that last video that I made, expertise means a lot to people, and I believe this guy would carry the most weight with his words for those types of people. uh, I personally believe you should listen to everybody, and you can filter out what might be right or wrong, or call people on things. So, anyway, um, excuse me. So I responded back to him. So I'll read that one more time for what he said, because this is very important. He says, "The details of the process of the emergence of life from abiotic chemistry to biology in its entirety still have to be demonstrated." So that's yeah, that's profound. So I said, "May I ask how we can teach it as empirical science if it can only be inferred and believed to happen?" That's very disheartening to hear that it has not been shown possible to happen. It is what yields the first organism, so it is needed for evolution to even start, correct? Oi. Um, And so then he responded back to me and said, "The good news is that life has happened. But yes, some details of the emergence of the very first cell still need to be discovered." So those were the emails, the exchanges that I had. I haven't heard back from Burkhardt. Um, so it's this is something that I find odd is that these three professors did speak at this, symposium or whatever. They had a panel discussion on abiogenesis, and two of them said that they weren't even experts in it and didn't really want to give their view of it or their take or from what their experiences are and what they've learned and want to share. They just passed it off and said they're not experts. So then I went to the one who is the most likely to be considered an expert, I assume. And so he said that we've never observed it. So again, we've never observed this needed step. You need to have uh, life arise from non-life. And if you want to say, a creator put it there, that first life, if you believe in like deistic evolution or theistic evolution or anything like that, you can, but that's also not science because we can't prove a creator. So it doesn't belong in science. It shouldn't be there. And I think it's really odd that these three gave a talk on it, and they're talking about something that's never even been observed. So how do you even know it can happen to even talk about it? I can give you an example of chemistry staying chemistry, which is all chemistry experiments, and it'll falsify this claim that they're trying to talk about, and then they're going to prove no evidence that it can even that their claim can even happen, and two of them aren't experts. And like, what am I? This is the university that I'm going to be transferring to, and why do they have a panel put on by the College of Biological Sciences? Uh, why do they have a panel with people who aren't even experts? It's very baffling how this is unfolding as far as evolution has nothing. And these people seem to be in some pretty odd corners as far as their paint job is concerned. And uh, it's just so puzzling. Like all the prestige of academia, and we're talking about things we don't even know if they can happen. They're just speculation that is needed for a certain mindset or certain idea or view of the world to even happen. And that to me doesn't make much sense. Like, why science is supposed to be observed. The scientific method, you observe something so then you can actually take notes on what happened and extrapolate data, take your measurements, get your recordings, and formulate your data, put up charts and tables, and then draw your conclusions. And you keep going and going and going and learning and learning and learning and expanding your horizons and your understandings of the natural world. That's what science is. And yet we're talking about something that for now is entirely imaginary. And there's no evidence, again, I was told, that we've never observed it, just like the National Science Foundation said. So this is kind of what this is about and where I'm at with this. I'm still in pursuits. I've emailed my dean a couple times, and professors don't. I don't know. They don't want to get involved with this, and why not? If there's a wrong in science, I've asked professors this too. Like if chemistry book taught that mixing mixing lead and iodide together, if someone taught that that would yield a red salt, um, uh, and then you did the experiment, if you were taught that in a book, that when lead and iodide get together, they form a, they form a red salt, that would be wrong because it forms a yellow salt. And so uh, you would change that in the book, right? You would change what was taught because it's incorrect. The same thing should be done with abiogenesis and with evolution, because you can't teach evolution if it has no start. So, all right, that is kind of what I wanted to say. And so, yeah, if anyone, I mean, I'm still working on it. If anyone out there is in school or wants to go back to school to call this stuff out, let me know, because professors can't seem to answer this stuff either, and they're supposed to be like the experts. They're supposed to know this stuff. So they don't have the science to back up abiogenesis, because abiogenesis is not a science; it is a belief. All right, I'm gonna sign off now. Peace out, everybody. I hope you all having a nice day, and God be with you. Glory be to the Most High. Jesus Christ is King. Peace be with you all.